us promoters, managers, everybody involved in boxing, we want to make those big fights happen. But when you're a fighter that does not want to fight the top guys, then that's the problem. The fighters not having literally the balls to go up there and fight the toughest challenges, because maybe you might be protecting your O, maybe you're never scared, but you just don't want to face certain fighters. And I believe, and people, we've heard it over and over and over again, Benavidez calling out Canelo. Why didn't Canelo want to fight Benavidez? You have to ask that to Canelo. I have my answer.
Is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally.
Canelo, you're really making the wrong enemies. But you know what?
Canelo would be in trouble.
I love Canelo. He's not going to beat him. He's a little bit past his prime. I think he's going to he could beat the guy that beat Canelo.
Dimitri Bivol.
Yeah.
For years, fans blamed politics and timing, but now Oscar De La Hoya is pulling back the curtain on the shocking reason Canelo Alvarez never stepped into the ring with David Benavidez.
You were trying to negotiate. You were trying to make that fight, right?
We couldn't get him to the table at all. Excuse after excuse. I mean, come on. Benavidez was chasing you for so long. Zurdo was chasing you for so long. But at the same time, Benavidez and Zurdo were the top guys for Canelo to fight. He didn't want to. That's the bottom line. There's nothing else I can say about it.
Exposing Canelo's reported $200 million demand to face Benavidez, Oscar claims Canelo damaged boxing by refusing what many fans considered the sport's most anticipated fight.
Why can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo, please, Canelo, please.
According to Oscar, they have spent years pushing for the Benavidez fight, but Canelo's reported demands were so massive that making the showdown became nearly impossible.
We want this fight. It's all ego. It's all just being arrogant. You know, come on, just get paid. It's gonna be the biggest payday of your career anyway. Not just what you're asking, but man, we need this fight. Boxing needs this fight.
Oscar even suggested Canelo's growing arrogance has fueled Turkey's frustration, claiming he avoids direct meetings and negotiations while criticism surrounding his decisions continues to intensify.
So it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo is an arrogant piece of shit. Turkey al-Sheikh recently revealed that Canelo refused to meet with him in person and isn't entertaining any deals to be done with him. Why? Because he's outpriced himself so much that the Saudis don't even want to deal with him. And it's all because he will do anything not to fight David Benavidez. Look, Turkey is trying to make the best fights that everybody wants to see. And Canelo continues to take the fights that nobody wants to see. Canelo, you're really making the wrong enemies. But you know what?
Stepping into the debate, Steven Espinoza offered his side of the story, pushing back against the narrative that Canelo is running from Benavidez. Espinoza pointed to several moments throughout Canelo's career where he accepted difficult challenges and faced opponents many advised him to avoid, arguing that history does not support the claim that Canelo backs away from dangerous fights.
Is an intriguing one. I mean, stylistically, it's a big challenge. And look, I have full confidence it will happen. You know, Canelo has never run from any fight. In fact, he takes fights regularly that people tell him not to. Going all the way back, people said, don't take the Austin Trout fight, before you might get Mayweather, and he did. And, he does that over again, or Erislandy Lara, people are telling him not to take that fight. Yeah, that's the obvious one as well. So the reality is, no, Canelo doesn't run for anybody. He's not going to run from that. And so, David Benavidez, proves he's the guy to beat at 168. Then I think that fight's going to happen.
Turning to Jose Benavidez Sr.'s strong stance on the situation, he believes the ongoing situation is seriously harming Canelo's legacy, claiming the repeated delays and demands are not believable anymore. He insists that David Benavidez is a dangerous young champion at 168 who has already proven himself against top competition, and says excuses like massive purse demands or weight conditions only show reluctance to face a real threat in the division.
I think this is the end of Canelo Alvarez. He knows that David's going to retire him. He knows that David can hurt him. He knows that David can stop him. You're fighting a young lion, 27 years old, with a good record, and has proven himself, that he is one of the best at 168. I do not think that he wants to take this chance. When you hear Canelo say that David does not bring anything to the table, and then he fights Munguia, David has proven more than Munguia at 168. When you hear $200 million to fight David, when you hear 25 pounds, when you hear all these things, those are just excuses, man. He doesn't want to face David. He's trying to look now.
Addressing the wider reaction from fans, Jose argues that support is gradually shifting away from Canelo as frustration builds over the missing fight. He believes people recognize David's willingness to fight anyone, while doubts are growing about Canelo's choices and intentions. In his view, this situation is damaging confidence in Canelo, and the longer the fight is delayed, the more criticism and disappointment continue to surround his name.
All the fans that Canelo had are going to our side because we know that we're warriors. They know that we want to give them the fight that they want, but Canelo doesn't want to do that. So at the end of the day, everybody's losing faith in Canelo.
Adding to the discussion is Canelo's recent response in an interview where he explained that fighters like David Benavidez often call him out either for legacy fights or big paydays, but he understands the mindset behind it and refuses to be pressured into giving opportunities too easily. Canelo suggested that when his main goal was becoming undisputed, he might have considered the fight, but now he believes the situation has changed and it is no longer realistic to make happen.
He was a champion at that point and I fight him because my goal was being undisputed. So right now it's just impossible. It's impossible. He can fight with the heavyweights. What I mean?
You're talking about him fighting Usyk, right?
Yeah. So, but I understand. Why he's calling me out or they are calling me out, but it's fine.
The situation is turning chaotic, and Antonio Tarver suggested that David Benavidez should stop focusing too heavily on chasing Canelo and instead move forward with other opportunities in the division. He argued that constantly pushing for a fight that may not happen only slows down Benavidez's rise, even though the matchup itself could elevate his career quickly. Tarver pointed toward other possible high-level fights involving fighters like Jermell Charlo and Demetrius Andrade, saying the sport often moves on when negotiations stall and careers must keep progressing.
Stop chasing Canelo, bro. You feel me? The man don't look like he want to fight you. You feel me? That fight right there can be one of those ones that, can really get David up there real quick, and then we could probably see some of Charlo action and Boo Boo Andrade, who I really want to see get in there, man. It's been way too long for him. You feel me? And he's an Olympian.
Right.
And this kid there, the business of the game, bruh. Sometimes it's just
Let me ask
right,
you,
bro.
With the debate heating up even further, Mike Tyson stepped in to share a bold take on the situation involving David Benavidez and Canelo. He suggested that Benavidez has already reached a level above many names in the division and questioned whether Canelo has slipped past his peak, hinting that this could explain why the fight has never materialized. Tyson also believed that at this stage, Canelo would struggle in the matchup, while confidently backing Benavidez as a clear problem for him. He even extended his claim by saying Benavidez could defeat Dimitri Bivol, the same fighter who previously beat Canelo.
Who impresses you from the fighters on the scene nowadays?
There's Benavidez. That's my guy. Benavidez is my guy. I think he could beat everybody in the division.
So you think if Benavidez faces Canelo would be in trouble?
I love Canelo. He's not going to beat him. He's a little bit past his prime. I think he's going to he could beat the guy that beat Canelo.
Dimitri Bivol.
Bivol, yeah.
Shifting the conversation to another perspective, Shakur Stevenson shared his thoughts on what fans should want next in boxing, especially when it comes to high-level rivalries and unfinished business. He explained that while some people may push for a trilogy based on the first fight, he personally feels the more exciting option is seeing David Benavidez step into that spotlight instead. Stevenson also reflected on how closely matched top fighters can be, suggesting that bouts involving elite pressure fighters like Benavidez and skilled boxers create the most competitive and unpredictable matchups in the sport today.
Do you want to see a trilogy, or would you rather just see the Benavidez?
I'd rather see the Benavidez. I mean, Benavidez deserved a trilogy technically because of the first fight. I thought Bivol won the first fight too.
Yeah, I did too.
But me, I think that Benavidez and Bivol is another fight that's one of the biggest and best fights in the sport of boxing. I don't know if it's the biggest, but one of the best as far as like competitive wise.
Who you got in there? That's a hard fight. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm leaning towards Bivol, but I know like it will be tough with Benavidez with his pressure.
Shifting to another strong opinion, Tim Bradley offered a detailed breakdown of why Dimitri Bivol could be the perfect style to handle David Benavidez. He explained that while it would not be an easy night, Bivol's movement, discipline, and ring control could create serious problems for the Mexican star. Bradley also pointed to differences in timing, footwork, and mentality, suggesting these small edges could decide the fight. In his view, Bivol has the tools to neutralize Benavidez and potentially close the chapter on his dominant run.
He fights Bivol. Bivol has the perfect style to beat him. Oh, I'm sorry to tell y'all, man. For real. Y'all come here for the real. Hey, I like me some David Benavidez. I do. Shit, I can't wait till he fight again. But Bivol is a recipe for disaster. Now, would it be a fight? Yeah, it'll be a fight. David Benavidez, he don't go nowhere easy. No. But when you got good feet that matches with this, right? And you understand the sweet science. David, he got a high boxing IQ too. He does. He does. But he's stubborn, people. He's stubborn. All right? Bivol isn't stubborn.
Breaking down Tim Bradley's take, he explains that Dimitri Bivol's biggest strength is how he flips every expectation inside the ring. According to him, Bivol studies opponents quickly and then brings the opposite look of what they prepared for, turning their own plans against them. Bradley compares styles like Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez and then shifts to Benavidez versus Bivol, saying the contrast would be key. In his view, Bivol's timing, discipline, and mentality are enough to break down Benavidez and possibly end his dominant run.
I'll tell you what Bivol is. Bivol is one of those guys that he'll do the complete opposite of what you think he gonna do. That's what he'll do. And he'll have a plan A, a plan B. He'll have a game plan for this, a game plan for that, but he'll do the complete opposite of what you think he gonna do. Right? So like when he fought Ramirez, he stepped to Ramirez. Didn't anybody think that he's gonna step to Ramirez? No, we thought he was gonna box because Ramirez was so damn big, standing at 200 pounds, you know, going up from 175 to 200 pounds. Yeah, but he stepped to him. Y'all probably don't think that Bivol gonna step to Benavidez. You'll be surprised.
Stepping in after David Benavidez's dominant win over Zurdo Ramirez, he has now made his intentions clear about chasing a fight with Dimitri Bivol. According to Tim Bradley, Bivol is the perfect stylistic matchup to challenge Benavidez and potentially hand him his toughest night. Bradley also pushed back on talk of Benavidez targeting Alexander Usyk, calling it a major mistake for his team at this stage. For now, he believes the real direction should stay focused on Benavidez versus Bivol, a fight he sees as one of the most compelling clashes in boxing today.
He'll step to his, yeah, he'd do the complete opposite. And then he might even revert on to boxing. You know, so like Bivol is a different animal, man. Bivol is also cut from that same cloth. He's cut from that top tier cloth, man. And all he know how to do is win, you know, but and look, it's a fight that I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't know if Bivol is gonna come up to 180 pounds or whatever the catch weight that David want to have it at or whatever. I'm not sure if Usyk is even interested in facing David Benavidez for what, for why, what, you know, there's other guys I feel that's deserving in the heavyweight division, you know, before David.
At this stage of his career, attention has started shifting away from Canelo, especially after recent performances against Zurdo Ramirez, with the boxing world now eager to see what comes next for him. Tim Tissue believes David Benavidez still has unfinished business at light heavyweight and should step up to face either Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol. Chu went as far as suggesting Benavidez has the power and pressure to trouble both men, insisting those matchups would truly define his standing among the elite.
I would love to see like a Beterbiev or a Bivol. Just like I'd love to see like him just smashing everything in light heavyweight.
John Appetite said that he wanted to get the winner at his fight. You think that would be a good one?
That'd be mad as well. That'd be mad. But I would love to, I don't know. I feel like he's got unfinished business at light heavyweight, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Who you want to see a fight at light heavyweight?
Beterbiev, Bivol.
With all eyes now on David Benavidez's next move, Jose Benavidez Sr. has stepped in to explain their perspective on the situation. He questioned the willingness of both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, suggesting they never accepted the fight when it was previously offered. As a result, Benavidez had to move on to Anthony Yarde instead. Now, after defeating Zurdo Ramirez, Jose argues that when Benavidez has openly called out Bivol again, the lack of response raises serious questions about who is truly avoiding the matchup at this stage.
But I just want to clarify here on your channel, you know, that we're not scared of nobody, man. We're not ducking nobody. We've proven ourselves. We keep proving ourselves. And the fights, and I'll tell you right now, the fights that we won is Bivol, Beterbiev, Opetaya, you know. But let me start with Bivol. We wanted to make that fight before we fought Anthony Yarde. He didn't want to fight. He gave us the belt. That's not the way that we wanted to get the belt. We wanted to fight. Then we went to Beterbiev. And we wanted to make that fight. He didn't want to fight. So that's why we fought Anthony Yarde, you know. And now, after David's performance, he called out Bivol. And that's the fight that we want to make, you know. Those are the fights that we want to make.
That's the storm building in boxing right now, and every name we mentioned is pulling the sport in a different direction. But the real question is simple: who actually steps up when the pressure hits its peak? If you want more raw updates, breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes drama from boxing's biggest names, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss what comes next.